Ever since I was real little, I remember seeing the strongman competitions on TV and thinking of how cool that was to see these guys pulling airplanes, fire trucks, and doing stuff that like superheroes do. And I always looked up to that and thought that would be something incredible to do. This is Austin Haye here at Destination Dallas. I was real active as a kid, pretty much lived outside my whole life growing up. And we got involved in gymnastics when I was, I think 8 or 9. Did that for a little bit and really built up a lot of core strength. I was probably one of the only 11-year-olds I knew that had like pec muscles and could do push-ups and all this stuff. And my older brother around that time got into just lifting weights and all that stuff. He's 2 years older than me, so he's 13 at the time. We got a weight set at home and started just training with that weight set. I was one of those guys that did bench press pretty much every time I worked out, until I was, 16 or so. And then I moved the weights out to the back porch and started doing deadlifts and things like that. But ever since I was real little, I remember seeing the strongman competitions on TV. I always looked up to that and thought that would be something incredible to do, but never really pictured myself doing it. I kept lifting weights, all the way through college, and I was into my senior year at college. Had just turned 21 or 22, I don't remember exactly, and found out that there's actually a local strongman competition over in Mesquite at the Ronnie Coleman Classic show that was going on. And I looked at the events, and they were all events I could train at just my school's gym at the time. And so I just started hitting all those events and showed up to the contest and did all right on a couple events, but bombed out on like the Atlas Stones and the Farmer's Walk because I had never done that before. The heaviest dumbbells I had to train with for the Farmer's Walk were like 125 pounds, and we were doing, I think, 245 a hand. So that was just what really got me hooked, is that first contest, meeting a lot of great guys. I met a good friend of mine and coach, Scott Brockelman. He's the North American Strongman state chair for Texas. He's been a mentor and was the one that really got me plugged in and honed my skills and trained me and kind of got me to the point where I could start training and figuring out things and events on my own.
Ready? Go! That's it, Austin. There it is. There it is. There it is. Yeah, get that rhythm. Get that rhythm. Get that rhythm, Mark. Get that rhythm. There you go. 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 Hey! Nice! Come on. Go! Go, Austin! Go on. Get it! Get it! Keep it going, Austin! Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on! Get it! Get it, brother! Get it! Get it! Get it! Get it! You got it! Time!
My first handful of contests, I was just nervous out of my mind. I'd feel real sick that morning. Was stressed out just because you've got the pressure of the crowd there and other competitors that you're competing against. But it really came down to just doing it enough times and getting comfortable with it that I eventually got to the point where I could step up to the platform to do an event, and all the noises and everyone around me would just kind of go silent, and it was just kind of me in that event, and all I was doing was listening for the whistle and the go command to start the event. and then it's just 100% until you complete the event or time's called. The hype part of it is you think about all the times that you've trained and prepared for that one specific event. How you've done in training, and that you've got adrenaline on your side competition day, and so that's a big factor for boosting your confidence and drive going into an event. And so that's kind of the things that I kind of hone in on, and I'm able to draw energy and focus from on contest days. Failure is one of those things you kind of have to get comfortable with in strength sports, because you're pushing your body to its absolute limit. And with some of these strongman events, it's not only your strength that's tested, but it's your cardiovascular endurance, and also just mental toughness, because some of the events just hurt. Like doing farmer's walk, there are plenty of guys that lose big chunks of their skin on their hands doing those events. Or deadlift for reps, you've got fatigue that starts setting in 20 seconds into that event, and you've got 40 more seconds to go. So whenever I failed at an event, I look at all the other competitors that are competing alongside me, or even pros that are doing it, that have failed, and how they've come back. And then I kind of realize I just need to put in the work to overcome this failure. That it's not the absolute limit for me. You can't really set limits on yourself just because of one failure and say, okay, I failed at this weight, or failed at this event, so I'm just not going to do it anymore. You have to say, okay, I just need to practice more. I need to get more comfortable with this event. I just need to get stronger.